Kurt Giles, Chief of Police, Huntsville Police Department. I just want to take a few minutes to kind of rehash what we've gone through in the last 24 hours. Needless to say, it's been a very tough time for our department, for our officers, our employees, and our city. The events that we've gone through and continue to go through, it's for anybody to say this city supports its officers is an understatement. They are, it's overwhelming. The number of calls and texts that I have personally received, the outpouring of support from other departments, from citizens, just coming up to us and saying thank you. And one of the things we always hear is, what can we do? And what they did and offering their prayers and condolences is what you can do. If you see an officer or an employee out here, tell them how much you appreciate what they're doing. Because yesterday is an example of what we all knew could happen to any one of us, and did happen to one of us. And we have an officer still in the hospital struggling right now, still in critical condition. With that said, I talked to his doctor this morning. He's not out of the wood by any means, but he's certainly improving. He's still got a ways to go. He's going to be in the hospital for a little while. But and I want to personalize this, and I want to introduce Deputy Chief Johnson. Deputy Chief Johnson was the West Precinct captain up until about a month ago, and he was a captain over the two officers. And I'd like to let him talk to you about these two guys, these two heroes.
Thank you, everyone. As the chief was saying, I was the captain of the West Precinct for about 2.5 years and had the joy of working with these two officers. I just got done talking with the entire shift and supervision actually about an hour ago, just to reminisce a little bit about their two personalities and what they were about as people. As you know, they were known as, or Crumby was known as Officer Crumby. And Morin is known as Officer Morin, but what I want to talk to you about are the two people behind that badge, and that's Garrett and Albert. We are a melting pot here in Huntsville City, and these two guys represent that statement. Garrett was a lateral out of Tuscaloosa, a native Alabamian, but definitely not from Huntsville, and came to us through a lateral program. He's known amongst his squad as the sweet tooth guy. He was always known for coming to roll call with food, particularly a honey bun or a Subway sandwich, and sometimes a cocktail of a Monster drink and coffee. I can tell you he was also noted for being the caregiver personality. He cared for the citizens that he dealt with, and he also cared for his family. Actually took a very extended leave at one point during his career with us to take care of a loved one. In fact, some of his officers took up money to help him with that. That's how much they loved Garrett. Garrett loved the outdoors, as most Alabamians do, and he loved being in Huntsville. Albert, who was a native New Yorker, as you could tell a little bit by his accent, spent most of his time in Florida before coming to us, was in the military for a short time, and he was like a leader amongst his squad. He loved outdoors as well and found his solace in hiking here in the Tennessee Valley, and enjoyed most of those hikes by himself. We kind of called him the get it job done guy. He loved to take on extra work. He usually didn't have much to say. As a captain, I would have to ask sometimes his supervision, hey, why is this guy so quiet? But I will tell you, he made no bones about it that the filter in the water fountain at the West Precinct needed to be replaced. That was probably the only type of complaint he had, and I was a little embarrassed before I left that was something that I did not take care of for him. But what I want to get you to understand about Garrett and Albert is they weren't just police officers. They were people. They had families. They had loves and hobbies beyond the job, but they did love police work. As we accept this outpouring of support, please remember those families and remember Garrett and Albert. Thank you.
Y'all wanted to ask a few questions? said you got an update on Albert, and he's not out of the woods yet, but he's improving. Do we know if he's awake and alert? Can he speak at this point?
I personally have not talked to him because I let his family, I certainly need his family in there. I know the point in time that he has been awake. Matter of fact, he even made a comment to his mom, I'm ready to go back to work, which obviously he's not. But that just shows you the type of mentality, a tough mentality he is, and his love for the job. Yes, sir.
Could you please tell us the relationship of the woman and laws and where she was shot and how is she doing right now?
I can't go into any parts of that just yet.
We did hear on the scanner about, and we saw some video on Facebook as well, about a couple of children that were lowered from moving down to safety to officers. Were those children at all in the apartment where everything was taking place?
You know, with Aaliyah taking the investigation, I really need to defer from that. Any questions about the specific incident itself, I'm really not going to be able to answer at this point in time. There will be a point in time we can address that because there was a lot of things that did go on to that, but as big a scene as that was and their investigation, we're just going to not be able to comment right now.
I did want to ask too, so obviously an event like this, it impacts everybody, especially within the department. Do you guys have any sort of resources available for folks who may be going through a rough time mentally right now? Do you guys offer any sort of paid leave for those who might need to take time off?
Yes, sir. We've already addressed that through the mayor's office. We have peer-to-peer support. Our city has EAP as well. That's one of the things that we are very adamant about is make sure our employees, not just the officers, but the dispatchers and employees, get the help they need in respect to dealing with this. It's a difficult thing to deal with. I've gone through this 4 times. And you got to understand these officers, these employees, we have to go back to work. And so we provide for them to be able to do that. We have other departments that are taking up our slack right now because they understand what we're going through. And so we're very blessed in this community.
There are some other departments that are helping out. Is that Madison Police, Athens Police? Have they come to town to kind of help you guys out?
We've had offers from all our area departments and to include the state. We've gotten calls and texts from all around, actually around the country for that matter. So yes, everybody, I can't name all of them, and there'll be more that I'm sure I would leave off if I did.
We have time for one more question.
Could you tell us where on Officer Morin was he shot?
I'm sorry?
Could you tell us where on Officer Morin was he shot?
I cannot. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you.